Today we will be discussing about bipolar junction transistor or BJT, which is a concept for the fifth semester students. And so let's look at the topic BJT. So basically, what is BJT? BJT is a three input terminal device which can act as a conductor or an insulator based on the input signal applied. We know what is a conductor and insulator means. Conductor is basically a substance which allows the flow of current, and an insulator is something which resists the flow of current. That's it. And BJT can act as both based on the input signal applied to it. So it's BJT is a three input terminal device, right? So what are these three input terminals? One is of course the emitter, base, and the collector. These are the three input terminals. Okay, and so let's look at the type of configurations uh, in the BJT. So the first type is NPN transistor. In case of NPN transistor, we see that emitter and collector are doped with n-type impurity, that is pentavalent atoms. So we know that what n-type impurity and p-type impurity means. N-type impurity means the intrinsic semiconductor will be doped with pentavalent atoms such that free electrons are formed, and these free electrons will help in the flow of current. And the base terminal will be doped with p-type impurity, that is trivalent atoms. So this is the case of NPN transistor in BJT, and BJT in PNP transistor is as follows. It's just the same, but the doping will be changed. That's it. The P terminal, sorry, the emitter and the collector terminal will be doped with p-type impurity, that is trivalent atom, and base will be doped with n-type impurity. That's it. So the term bipolar shows the flow or the flow of current is due to the holes and free electrons which are being formed in the BJT transistor. That is what bipolar says. It means that both holes and electrons both are contributing to the flow of current in the BJT. So here are some of the characteristics of an NPN junction transistor, and these characteristics show, or it should be the NPN junction or an BJT transistor with an NPN junction configuration should be like this in order to work actively. So emitter should be heavily doped and its function is to supply electron. As I said, its major function is to supply electrons. So it is n-type. N-type impurities are doped with it, and base is very lightly doped, and collector is doped somewhere between the range of emitter doping and the base doping. So this is the range of doping of the three terminals in the NPN junction. And speaking about the size and length, base region is very thin. This is because the free electrons should move from base region to the collector region, where the electrons will be collected, and after the electrons are being collected, they will flow through the circuit. So that's how the BJT transistor works. We'll look into it later. So the base region should be very thin in terms of width, and collector region should be wider than other two regions, because as I said, its function is to collect the electrons which is being supplied from the emitter region. I said that emitter region is where the free electrons will be formed, and these free electrons will move towards the collector region. So the collector region should be big enough to collect these electrons. So that's the reason why collector region should be wider than the other two regions.